Hey everybody, this is GGB co-host Peppers. We're getting back into this third quarter of action. Let's go! I'm excited. I hope everyone else is as hyped as I am. It's gonna be so much fun. Uh, don't forget, Tom Brady's let it come back like this before. This is gonna be like taken in the back of the end zone for a knee. But let's be honest, they're down by 25 points. They gotta score. They have to. Just remember all the things that had to go right for them to complete that Falcons comeback. The Falcons offense had to be inept, and the offense had to be insane for the Patriots. That was in real life. So the same kind of thing has to happen here if you're Tom Brady in this offense. The offense has to be really good, number one, and then your defense has just got to figure out how to stop this defense, which I don't know is good as possible. So Tom Brady still has the X factor despite going into halftime. It looks like a four-man rush. They stick with the four-man rush. He has plenty of time to find his target. Eventually, he's pressured, but he gets it off to George Kittle, who rolls for about 2 or 3 yards. Ends up marking it as 3 yards. But, yeah, I mean, number one, I'm impressed, obviously, with how well this team is covering targets like George Kittle, Stephon Diggs, Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson, Saquon Barkley. Two tight ends set here, but the defensive line's actually getting some amount of pressure, so that's impressive. So they bring Michael Thomas in motion, they hand it off to him, and he's going to get tackled for about a 3-yard gain, so he actually gets something on that play, brings up a 3rd and 4, and it's an interesting play call if you are if you're the Big Ten Titans. Obviously, you got to pick up this first down. This is like, you got to score on this drive. This is like the drive you have to score on after halftime. You kind of have to do it. Two tight end set here with Mike Gesicki on the field along with George Kittle. They go pass. They bring a blitz. He has plenty of time. He fires it. He gets it to Stephon Diggs, who makes a move, makes it to the 45-yard line. And just like that, they're in position once again. But you got to give it to this defense. That's only the second catch for Stephon Diggs. Stephon freaking Diggs. He's like one of the best receivers in the entire NFL at this point. And like, that's only his second catch. That's how amazing this defense has been. And it's not like Michael Thomas is killing it either. But two tight ends set again. It seems like this is becoming a standard on this drive. With Mike Gesicki on the field, looks like a 5-man rush. They do bring that 5th man. Saquon Barkley, nice spin move, ends up getting 5 yards where it would have been 0 yards with Quiet Costi in position to make the tackle. But I honestly think the run game is being underutilized by this Big Ten offense, which is weird, because the Titans typically run the ball. It's an empty set here. It looks like a 6-man rush. They do bring the 6-man. So they fired underneath to George Kittle, gets to the 30-yard line, 29-yard line. They mark it. 1st and 10 again, and this drive is going well to start the game if you're the Big Ten. You need your offense to catch fire here in the second half. Remember, this is for the Super Bowl. You get a chance to play in the Super Bowl. This isn't like a divisional round game. This is a Super Bowl's on the line. So let's see how they play. Hand it to Saquon Barkley. There's a huge hole. He gets it up the middle. 1st down. And this offense has done extremely well after halftime, catching the Big 12 defense on their toes. 8th tackle of the game for Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett is becoming an extremely solid player for this team, despite being the number 3 cornerback on this team. And, the reason I probably mentioned Jason Verrett's name a lot and not Xavien Howards is Jason Verrett is in the position to make tackles because he's not covering the best players. Xavien Howards did an excellent job locking him up. They have two tight end set with Yanovich. They go run up the middle with Saquon Barkley, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. Great defense there. 3rd tackle is Kenneth Murray is kind of credited with that tackle. I believe it was a combo effort with him and I don't know who that other guy is. 90 is that Emmanuel Ogbah? I think it's Emmanuel Ogbah. And we've yet to see 96 back in this game. Actually, 93 is Ogbah, so I don't know who 90 is. But that means Alex Okafor, if the Cards move on, is likely not going to be able to play in the next game unless the the coin goes the right way. Shotgun for Brady. He has plenty of time to scan the field. He fires it to the right, just short of the end zone. Michael Thomas gets it to the 1 yard line, and just they're in some pretty good position to punch this ball in the end zone and pick up the touchdown to make it an 18-point game. Great tackle there. It turns out it's by Earl Thomas. And let's not forget that Mahomes has had statistically bad halves throughout these playoffs. In the playing game, you guys didn't get to watch it because I didn't post it, but he ended up having a bad game in that one. In the MAC, he had a bad second half. In the SEC game, he had a bad second half. So definitely a chance here. They go run with Saquon Barkley. He's into the end zone, and he is going to likely make this an 18-point game, extra point pending, and a big touchdown by Saquon Barkley. And finally, a play that has given life to the crowd. You can see him in the background. They're hyped. But, I mean, this offense is going to be hard to stop. That's all I have to say about this. This is going to be difficult. It really is going to be difficult. If you are this Big 10 defense, you got to figure out something to stop Patrick Mahomes. You've really done it only once this time. His kick is going to be by Robbie Gould. The kick is up, and it is good by Robbie Gould. Makes it an 18-point game. But, yeah, we've really only done it once. I don't really count the Micah Hyde pick, although it was a great play defensively. Just kind of lucky that Mahomes threw a bad pass. And they were right at the 1 yard line anyways. So it's not like you stopped them from driving. You've only been able to do it once. So if I was the Big Ten, I would have went back into halftime and studied that one drive where you were able to force that punt. But again, if you're this Big 12 offense, remember Mahomes has had statistically bad games, and obviously you don't want to give up the comeback by Tom Brady. You got to be able to hold on in this game. You have to hold on. You have to play well if you're Patrick Mahomes. You have to get to the Super Bowl. The kick is off by Robbie Gould. Is that going to be returnable? It is going to be returnable by Tyler Lockett. And he's going to bring it to up about the 25-yard line. And this offense is going to retake the field. Tyler Lockett is he's running off, but he's also should be running on. He is the starting player. He's the starting wide receiver of this team. And if you're Mahomes, you've had a phenomenal day. Remember, 24-27, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 pick on the day. Unlike Tom Brady, who has 2. You have to be able to find your open man. You got to be able to do what you've been doing all game long, is being a very effective point guard of this offense. Shotgun here from Mahomes with Beck on the field. It's likely going to be a run, but we have seen them block Beck a couple times. They run it with Mixon. He's going to get slung down for about a 3-yard gain. And again, Mixon's been unproductive today. And if there's a bright point in this Big Ten defense, is the fact that you've been able to basically stop Mixon on the ground. But T.J. Watt gets his first tackle of the ballgame, which I have not been saying the Watt brothers' names as many times as I thought that I would be today. But, yeah, you got to figure out how to stop this air game, which is insane for the Big 12. Mahomes is going to pass this ball. He has time. He fires it to Mark Andrews, who's going to pick up about 5 yards. We get like a 3rd and 2. So, interesting here. If you're the Big Ten, you could force a huge... a punt here would be huge. Looks like you have Marquise Brown on the field, which is interesting. You haven't been able to get the ground game going on late, so probably not a run. They do go 5 wide. Actually, not 5 wide, 4 wide, I'm sorry. They go blitz. He fires it. He gets it to Danny Amendola. And I was looking at the stats at halftime. Danny Amendola has been probably their second most productive player through the air. Again, 6th catch for Danny Amendola. Which is interesting because he's the number 4 receiver on this team. He's supposed to only come in for slot downs, where he's the slot receiver, right? But Danny Amendola is... he's becoming a staple on this offense and a player you have to look out for. Mark Andrews is obviously the most effective deep player for this offense. You got to watch out for Danny Amendola, though. Andrew Beck on the field once again. They go actually pass here with Andrew Beck on a route. They throw it to Andrew Beck. He's going to get tackled for a 1-yard gain, but Andrew Beck has a catch, everyone. the fullback for the Big 12 as a catch. And of all the teams, I honestly think the Big 12, which is weird because I don't know the name of the Cards fullback, but I don't think he's very good. I don't even know if they have one. They don't use him very often in real life, so I don't know why they're using him here. Shotgun here from Mahomes. He's going to go pass again. He fires it. Oh, that was a weird play, but he ends up getting a couple yards with, or actually 6 yards with Sterling Shepard, or 5 yards with Sterling Shepard. And again, 3rd and 4, another early 3rd down. Again, if you're the Big Ten, you could force a pretty big punt here. You could get the offense back of the ball. Looks like a 3-man rush, although I could see them bringing a guy from the outside. It lines up right next to Bosa, I believe. They don't bring that guy. 3-man rush. Ooh, he gets sacked. And that's Joey Bosa's 2nd sack of the ball game today. And they're going to force a huge punt here for the Big 12. And Tom Brady's going to get the ball back with a chance to cut this deficit to 11 or 10. Depending on whether they want to go for 2. Or that's if they get the touchdown, though. And that was weird. I mean, Lane Johnson is rarely beat, but that makes sense because it's Joey Bosa. Trent Williams draws, I guess, J.J. Watt on the outside. It makes sense because J.J. Watt is statistically the better pass rusher, and I have not said his name very much today. But Joey Bosa has really had Lane Johnson has had his hands filled with Joey Bosa. Let's see if Tressway can pin him. He puts him at about the 27-yard line. So really bad punt there by Tressway. Only gives up about 20 yards of field position. And here it comes back, this offense. And Saquon Barkley, he hasn't been a killer, but when he's had the ball, he's been effective, to say the very least. This defense has got to figure out a way to stop them, though, because remember, if they score here, it's suddenly an 11-point ball game, and that's a very close game. That's not a game you want if you're the Big 12 Cards. So you got to figure out a way to stop this offense, get pressure on Brady, do something to disrupt this team. Looks like a 4-man rush by this team. They stick with it. They're going to go pass. Fires it underneath to George Kittle, who gets quickly tackled by, I believe, Jason Verrett once again. Only gets about 3 yards on the play. It's a good play there by Jason Verrett. And it's weird. Tom Brady's taking all these short, dump-down passes when literally he could have forever. That offensive line for the Big Ten is really solid. And there really is no real reason why they're getting pressure, why he has to dump it off so quickly. They go run with Saquon Barkley, who has a huge hole. He's going to get it to about the 45-yard line, 15-yard run there by Saquon Barkley. And again, I've told you, when he's gotten the ball, he's been productive. It's just for some reason they've gone away from running the ball with him. 5th tackle there for Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas is getting up there with Jason Verrett numbers, but yeah, it's just been, whenever he's had the ball, I'm sure anyone else has noticed this, he has been extremely productive with it in his hands. But for some reason, they've shied away from using him a lot, which is weird to me. 2 tight ends set here with Mike Gesicki on the field. Looks like a 4-man rusher. They could see them bringing that guy from the outside, that corner, I believe. They bring Stephon Diggs in motion. They go handoff to him. He's a lot of running room. He's going to bring it for about a 7-yard gain. First rush, by the way, for Stephon Diggs. So they've been using, I've noticed that, there's been a lot of jet sweeps in this game. If you notice, the Cardinals did it early with Danny Amendola. Michael Thomas has done it a couple times. First one for Stephon Diggs. But that's not a play that we see too much in the NFL, so it's interesting. Looks like it might be a blitz here. They actually do bring a blitz. He's going to have time, though. He fires it to George Kittle, who's going to outrun Kwiatkowski. He's going to get it all the way to the 21-yard line. And suddenly, at the very least, you can make this a 15-point ball game at a 2-possession game. And George Kittle, again, is the player. He is the guy. He needs to be the one that is force-fed the ball. He is the most productive player. He's the most talented player that the Big Twin Titans have. See, look at that. Kwiatkowski is very close, and look at George Kittle just outruns him. So empty set here for Tom Brady. He has his X factor back. Looks like a 4-man rush by this Big 12. They do stick with it. He has plenty of time. He fires it to an open George Kittle. Gets it all the way down to the 1-yard line. And again, a touchdown makes this game an 11-point game, and suddenly it's going to be a ball game here, ladies and gentlemen, if this Big 12 Titans doesn't figure out something soon. This Big 10 Titans offense has come out of halftime with a fire underneath them, and they've been playing extremely well. And this is the Big 10 Titans that we've expected. We've come to expect the Big 10 to play like this. And that first half was not what I'm used to seeing out of this Big Ten team. But no, I think we're gonna get something here. It looks like it's gonna be a goal line defense, but two tight end set here. It looks like I could get me wrong with Saquon Barkley. They do run it with Saquon, and he's gonna force his way to the 1 yard, back to the 1 yard line. But the Big 12 Cards stop him short. Tackle credited to Quandre Diggs with his first of the ball game. 2nd and goal here for this Big Ten Titans team. They go shotgun here. Looks like it might be a blitz here by the Big 12 Cards. They do bring a blitz. He's going to have time. He's actually sacked, though. Tom Brady sacked by Jordan Brooks coming in on the blitz. And he forces a 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. And suddenly a 1st and goal at the 1 yard line has turned into a 3rd and goal at the 6-yard line, where if you don't get the touchdown, then you're going to have to settle for a field goal. And that's going to be a win for this Big 12 defense that was really bullied their way all the way down here. Huge tackle on 1st down made by Quandre Diggs, and obviously a big tackle by Jordan Brooks. And Jordan Brooks, again, was a young player I was mentioning before, of a player I really loved. And I think he's going to grow into a very prospering NFL player, and especially for this Conference of Champions. Under center here is Tom Brady. It's likely going to be a pass. You don't run on 3rd and goal at the 6-yard line. He's going to have time, plenty of time. He fires it, and they're going to get that touchdown to Stefon Diggs. He gets his first touchdown of the ball game, and Stefon Diggs has a chance. They have a choice to make this either an 11-point game or a 10-point game, and suddenly this Big Ten team is right back in this thing. And that's what happens when he's given plenty of time to find it. Eventually, Stefon Diggs will find his way into the hole. Tom Brady's going to thread the needle, and just like that, this stadium is alive and rocking once again. And the defense, they actually boot. This is gonna go to the booth review, so we're gonna see if this is actually a touchdown. If this is overruled, you're gonna tell that this team is. Wait. Was his foot down before? Is the question? This is left foot. They reviewed that so quickly. That's got to stand. It's got to stand. But that was definitely something you should have looked at. I don't know if he got it. They do keep it as the call on the field. So it's going to be interesting. Does Mike Vrabel go for 2 early, or does he wait for that? I'd wait for it. Wait for it. But it's going to be interesting. Mike Vrabel's a different coach than I am. He's rather aggressive in real life. So they're actually going to go with the field goal here with Robbie Gould. Likely going to get this extra point, though. Extra point is up, and it is good. So 28-17 ball game. Tom Brady's being left hanging. Poor Tom. Tom didn't deserve that. Poor Tom. But he's really got his team back in this game, which is what is so exciting about this at the end of the 3rd quarter. Now, again, if you score here for the Big 12, I mean, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to come back here. And the goal is, time is really on your side if you're the Big 12. If you score here and you take up the rest of the 3rd quarter, it's going to be a tough 4th quarter comeback. So is this going to be returnable by Tyler Lockett? It is going to be returnable by Tyler Lockett. He's going to bring it up the middle to about the 24-yard line before he's tackled by, I don't know who that is, but Andy Yanovich makes the tackle. And Patrick Mahomes, he's been good, but he needs to be heroic here in the second half. He has put up 0 points so far, while the Big Ten has put up 14. Now, they're still up by 11 points, so they're still in a pretty solid position to win this football game. But, again, you cannot blow a 25-point lead. You cannot be the Atlanta Falcons here. 2 tight ends set here with Mark Andrews and Blake Jarwin. They blitz him. He fires it. That was almost picked off. That was a dangerous pass. But Mahomes threads the needle, and he gets 5 yards to Sterling Shepard. So, I mean, turns out to be a net positive, but wow. What an insanely dangerous pass trying to fire that in there. Looks like they might be bringing up blitz on the outside, so you got to watch that if you are Trent Williams. They go run up the middle with... Oh, Joe Mixon has a huge hole. He's going to get it to about the 43-yard line. First really productive run of the ball game for Joe Mixon. And there we go. Gets that first down. And it turns out to be a perfect play call for that because the corner blitzing gets him out of the play. And a perfect play call by Cliff Kingsbury. Right when this Big Ten team thinks they're getting back into it, you got to leave a very effective drive down the field. So Mahomes goes under center here with Joe Mixon behind him. One tight end set here with Mark Andrews. They actually run it with Danny Amendola, who's going to get tackled for a loss there. Actually, they cut it with no loss. See, they say one rush. I am positive that they did run jet sweeps with them. It's probably one of those things where like it technically counts as a pass for Patrick Mahomes, but he definitely did that. So 2 running back set here, actually. Chris Carson has not seen the field much here today. Shotgun here from Mahomes, though. They're going to actually all run out in patterns. He fires it to Chris Carson, who's going to make his first catch of the ball game. Gets about 3 yards on the play. But still has a... Actually, David Montgomery. That's interesting. That really is interesting. David Montgomery rarely sees the field for this team. He's the third-string running back. And I really thought it was Chris Carson. But it turns out to be David Montgomery. 3rd and 7, so big third down here if you're this Big 12 offense. Got to pick it up. They bring a blitz. He has time. He fires it, and that's going to be caught by Tyler Lockett. And while Tyler Lockett has not been hugely productive today, he comes up with a big catch there. And I believe a lot of that is due to Marshawn Lattimore and how he's covering Tyler Lockett. He's very much a lockdown corner in this league. And it's been fun watching them battle back and forth. There's been a lot of wins by Lattimore. But Tyler Lockett ends up getting a huge first down there to keep this drive alive and to keep this Big Ten Titans offense from getting back on the field. So they bring Andrew back onto the field, likely indicating a run to the outside, I believe, maybe. They actually go play action here, so Mahomes has plenty of time. He fires it to an open Tyler Lockett, I believe, again on that play. I believe that was Tyler Lockett, although I didn't see it zoom up. Yep, it is credit to Tyler Lockett, and Tyler Lockett's actually starting to get going on this drive. Devin McCourty ends up making the tackle there. 7 tackles for Devin McCourty. But suddenly they're in position to, at the very least, get a field goal and make it a 14-point ball game. So shotgun here from Mahomes. They bring a blitz. He has time, though. He scrambles out of the pocket. He fires it to an open Sterling Shepard, who's going to get it back to the 11-yard line. And that's what Mahomes does so well. He scrambles to the outside, and he still finds his player to make the play. And Sterling Shepard's been productive here today, too. 6 catch for Sterling Shepard. Again, I love the way that the Big 12 utilizes all its players, and it does an extremely good job at this. Hollywood Brown hasn't had many catches. He's had 1 big catch, though, today, and that was the one for I believe the first touch in the ball game. They bring Andrew back out onto the field. Shotgun from Mahomes. It's likely going to run with Mixon, though. They do go run with Mixon. He has a big hole. He's going to get it to about the 5 or 4 yard line, but there's a penalty on the play, so we'll see what that's about. That's going to be called holding on the offense, and what a killer penalty to have. Andrew Beck, someone who's been so good this year, too. So good. Ends up making a meaningless holding penalty, too, because he was tackled exactly where the held took place, and ends up making him go backwards basically 4 yards for the first down. Shotgun from Mahomes with Mixon beside him. They go pass. Mahomes sprints out of the pocket to the right. He fires it incomplete to Sterling Shepard. Great defense there by 22. I think that might be Denzel Ward. But 2nd and 14 for this team. And that penalty by Andrew Beck is it's going to hurt him a lot here on this drive. So shotgun here from Mahomes once again. Looks like it might be a blitz by the Big Ten. They bring Danny Amendola in motion. They hand it off to him. He's going to fight his way for, a couple yards on the play. 4 yards, they credit with it. Actually, Mark Andrews is the one that was running that jet sweep play. And we're probably going to get maybe a couple more, maybe at the very least 1 more play before the end of this episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it's been a fun, enjoyable episode so far. So shotgun from Mahomes. Big 3rd down for them. They bring Sterling Shepard in motion. He's blitzed. He's going to get sacked. Huge sack there by Micah Hyde, making once again a big play on this game. Before, he was targeted early in this game. He was targeted. But that's going to be probably the end of this episode, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. But we're going to probably get back into this action tomorrow. If you want to see if the Big Ten completes this comeback or if the Big 12 Cardinals hold on, don't forget to stay tuned for tomorrow. But hey, everybody, this is GGB, Coles Pepper saying adios, amigos.